Today we got a lot of interesting news about the next chapter of Warzone. There's some very exciting things with new map, anti-cheat, as well as an FOV slider for console, which is pretty exciting. I know a lot of people have been asking for that. So we're going to talk about all that and a little bit more. If you enjoy the video, learn something new, please do me a favor, hit the like button. If you're brand new and want to find your way back, double check, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. The next chapter of Warzone. And there's a few different things that we'll go ahead and talk about. So here's an overview look of the map, like from the outside looking in. This would be like the same as if we were coming up on that ship, the same way they had the shipwreck on the bottom of Verdansk. And the map is going to look completely different, way more color. The lighting is going to be different. You can see there's a little bit of smoke in different areas, some treed areas, but to kind of mix
Pacific,
it up a lot.
Featuring an entirely new place.
So you get a little different other part. Instead of the road just being like that brown dirt, it's kind of like an orangey clay color, along with some fog in here. You see the different types of trees, maybe not the thick redwood. They're more like these little, palm trees and stuff like that. These little huts and different buildings you're going to be able to go through. Pretty cool stuff.
With all new points of interest. Players will get to traverse the lush landscapes of the island and make their way through a variety of extremely cool locations.
So right here, this is kind of like an indoor area too, and they've done this a couple different times. They did this in Blackout with the underground like mining area, if you remember playing Blackout at all. And then they did it also with the airport when they put the crater right in the middle. You were able to go underneath and that type of stuff. I think this is going to function very similar to that, where maybe there's going to be some looting underneath, and then you'll be able to zip up with the rope that they have here, or maybe go up some stairs and come out a door somewhere else. I think Summit has some little cabin, things to go through there. This, I think, is going to be like a train station setup where it kind of looks like where maybe you're able to get up on this roof when you land. You can loot it up, and then there might be these little train cars still in it that'll act kind of like the buses. And we'll go ahead and listen to this part, what he says again.
World of Verdansk. To create an atmosphere that is vibrant, alive, and it really opens the doors to how we can craft the narrative, friends, and foes. Our goal was to create a fresh, new experience for Call of Duty players by breaking out of the war-torn world of Verdansk to create an atmosphere that is vibrant, alive, and it really opens the doors to how we can craft the narratives and events.
So it says breaking out of the Verdansk. This is the one of the 3 or 4 different ways they're going to say that they're upgrading this engine for Warzone. So we're going to get a brand new upgraded version of the engine, and we'll see multiple times where they do this. And what they explain right there is that this is going to open the door for the narrative, in-game events, those types of things. They're going to go ahead and touch on it multiple times, and I haven't really heard anyone talk about that part, but that's pretty important because what's kind of held back Warzone is the limitations of the engine. So here's another one. Watch what it says right here.
As visuals and technology, Warzone Pacific will share the same tech and engine as Call of Duty Vanguard.
So same tech and engine as Call of Duty Vanguard. So whatever they've done, the way the aesthetics look to upgrade the engine with lighting or whatever the hell they've done, they're going to go ahead and carry those over from Vanguard and transfer them over. So they're going to take whatever you're able to do in the Vanguard engine, and it's going to be transported over to Warzone. Keep paying attention to that because it's going to be very important when we get back over to the FOV slider, which is a huge deal for like 90% of the player base, which actually plays on a console, whether it's PlayStation or Xbox. You're on a console, and the FOV slider would do wonders.
This allows for seamless weapon integration and play balance, fully optimized cross
integration and play balance. So basically what they're going to do is they're not going to have the same issues that we had with Cold War integration where everything didn't line up. It didn't even make sense. These ones, the engine's coming over. That means the detailed stats in game are likely coming over. I'm making this part up right here, but that also leads me to believe that we're probably going to have a 10 attachment system. We're probably going to carry over those perks, equipment, lethals from that game over. So the heartbeat sensor may be gone. And other elements may be gone that we've been accustomed to Warzone. It'll still be Warzone because of the movement in the engine, but we're going to have brand new ways to think about loadouts. When it comes to overkill, maybe we're going to be able to run a 10 attachment kilo or a Krig, and maybe they're going to be completely broken. Who knows? Or 8 attachment, because I think they have 8 attachments or whatever it is. But you kind of get the gist of it, that them taking the engine over kind of solidifies that these new weapons are probably going to be more dominant than the Cold War and Modern Warfare ones, just for the pure fact that they have extra attachments. So we'll kind of see how this plays out.
Cross-play, cross-progression, and cross-gen support.
This part too is kind of like a duh. We've had that. Like, why wouldn't we have that? It's because, again, they're bringing in this new engine. I say new, but it's an upgraded engine. And there's different elements of why this new engine is pretty important when it comes to the anti-cheat stuff as well.
Friends across different platforms and generations of consoles.
Right here, coming up.
But most importantly, we want to ensure that Warzone Pacific will be the best experience it can be. We'll be launching with a multifaceted new anti-cheat system that will be rolled out with the new experience goes live later this year.
So the new experience goes live later this year, not at the launch. The dates that kind of most people are expecting is 3 weeks after the launch. So from November 5th, it'll go probably like right around November 23rd, because that's supposed to be like when the season 1 starts of year 3 of Call of Duty. And the season that we have ends or runs out. The newest one we will have will end, like season 6 will end right around there. If you do that like 2-month window, the way that they normally do, if you do the timing out. So that's kind of when to expect that portion of it and when that integration will happen.
And are excited to have it ready day 1 when the new Warzone experience releases. Our teams have worked hard on this and much more.
So you got all these different elements. This one kind of looks like Quarry. We have these little things. We're not sure if they're able to be mobile because there's different like types of terrain. Seems like a little bit more variety than we have on our current map. Obviously, the images look a little bit busted just because it's a pre-alpha, not even alpha or beta.
Playlist, limited time events, and seasonal.
So this is the other part. Because we're getting a new engine, they were able to maybe build this engine and then layer stuff on top of it from the older engine. So they went in and adjusted some of the base layers per se, just to kind of explain this for easy. And then they were able to adjust it to add the Modern Warfare engine involved in it. But they were able to integrate an anti-cheat because they had to build it again. But basically they had the blueprint. And then along with that, that's going to allow to open the door for new modes that maybe have never been done in Warzone. New playlists that maybe we've never seen. Limited time events, which haven't really been like earth shattering and compared to like Fortnite or something like that. Or engine limitation. Not saying we're going to end up with some kind of concert in Warzone or anything, but the limitations of the engine definitely were holding back the Warzone abilities with in-game events and seasonal events as well.
Events, as well as community celebrations and much more. We look forward to playing with all of you later.
So here's kind of an overview, like look of the map.
Officially comes online.
It's kind of hard to tell how big it is. I mean, it looks like it's going to be huge, because it probably goes all the way to this right side mostly. You can see there's some buildings there. Normally, once it's like terrained out, like Warzone, if you look at the outside of Verdansk, it just ends up being hill and terrain. If you're having buildings here, this is usable space. So I'm hoping the rumors are it's going to be slightly bigger than Verdansk. And there might be options because of the new engine to go up to 200 players consistently. Even though we did have the LTM for a while, I don't think the game was set up for that. So it didn't really work out. So earlier, Adam tweeted out this particular image of Field of View. And if you guys don't know who Adam is, he's the senior development director for Sledgehammer Games. And he doesn't have a ton of followers. Most times developers don't have a huge following. But if you scroll down, Sledgehammer Games put delete this. And then Call of Duty put actually don't delete this. And the reason why they're engaging with this tweet is so that it brings eyeballs to Adam's tweet, because this is kind of like their form of marketing. I don't know why they didn't include this in the video, because this is pretty important for a few different reasons. And when we click on it, you can tell that this is console because it says that the safe area, it has this little icon, and there's a few other settings on here that look more specific to console, even controller being the first setting up here on the left. It is from a console point of view. It's not PC, and it gives you all the way up to 120 FOV. Right here, it says only in effect for multiplayer. And I wonder if this is going to be a beta specific thing. And then once the full game comes out and then the integration happens, they can add this into Warzone. Keep it in mind, it says it defines the height and width of in-game view. Values different from the default may cause lower frame rate and some graphical artifacts. Please note that increasing the default value of this setting may increase the risk of motion sickness. So hopefully this is something that they plan to integrate when that engine update happens. And maybe that's why it specifically says only multiplayer, because it wouldn't really make sense. Why wouldn't you be able to do it in campaign? And why wouldn't you be able to do it in zombies? The fact that it only says multiplayer is a little bit odd there. And I think that that's something that will change as time goes on, but it's at least a step in the right direction so that those players can have the option to have that, even if you're going to go down to like 45 frames or 60. If you're on a PS5, instead of being at 120 hertz, maybe you'll be down to 80 or 100 or whatever, and you'll be able to drop that. But huge step in the right direction. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, learned something new. If you did, please do me a favor, hit the like button. If you're brand new and want to find your way back, double check, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.